Morning, everybody. Michelle is here, sitting in my car, and it feels really good out here this morning. So, yeah, I was told that the weather is going to start changing. So, hopefully, I'm prepared for the winter in the West Coast. I'm used to the so-called weather. I mean, the winter in the East, and how unpredictable that is. But I'm looking forward to. Well, I say that now that I look forward to what it's gonna endure. Because I was going to go to the park this morning, but something told me no, just kind of hang around here. Because I do got some things I need to get taken care of. I need to put together some furniture. You know, that IKEA style furniture where you have to put it together yourself. I don't like that, but I know that it's cheaper to have furniture like that. Especially since, like I said, I'm living in um, a studio apartment, and this is just a temporary, somewhat experimental situation right now. I'm not sure if this is even what I. Well, we'll just see. Time will tell. But I'm doing fantastic, magnificent, and marvelous. Um, just kind of looking around in the parking lot to see, um, you know, what type of vehicles in here. Because it's always important, like I said, to pay attention to your surroundings, and know, just, and attempt to get familiarized with who drives what type of vehicle and this and that and the other. I mean, because it is about your safety, bottom line, isn't it? Especially if you have kids. You want to know who's in these apartment complexes, what type of vehicles they're driving. I like to find out, okay, who's paying attention to me, you can tell by their blinds, if their blinds are moving. I mean, it's hard to to see inside my vehicle because of the tent. So it's hard for people to know I'm in here, but at the same time, someone's always watching. Just put that, just always accept that. Someone's always watching you. Okay, especially if you have a house. And I know a lot of people, uh, that's their goal, is to have a home. But I'm just telling you, when you think about your parents having a home or your grandparents having a home, and you remember how everything was set up. Everything was set up as a community. And what do I mean by that? It's set up as a community where everybody can see everybody. You go out in your backyard, you'll see your neighbors. You go out in your front yard, you'll see your neighbors. And so back in the day, there's a lot of things that were accepted that most people did not have an issue with because you were usually structured in a certain community, like black culture. All you saw were black people. That's what I remember growing up. So there was it was a connection. It was a connectiveness. Uh, and the community, everyone in the community, for the most part, appeared to be respectful towards each other. There, I do remember some issues growing up where that was put to the test. But anyway, so I'll talk about housing at another time. But the point is, in apartment communities like this, where I am now, like I said, all walks of life are here. Okay, black, white, Latino, Asians, especially a lot of Asians, and this particular building, like I said, it appears to be more so elderly and more so men, but I'm not sure yet. I don't hear too many kids, but I do hear dogs and blah 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 blah. So my point is always just become familiar with who's in your community. There's a lot of homeless around here. I told you, there's homeless that sleep on the grass behind here. There's this homeless woman. I see her kind of frailing around, because it's obvious she's coming off of something, and she's kind of like running around almost, you know, not completely dressed. She's dressed properly for the summer, but I have no idea how she would survive in the winter, dressed the way she is. So chances are she'll be taken care of in regard as well. And also, we need to be very honest about what's happening with the so-called homeless populations in every city, because you'll be surprised at the services provided. That's all I'm saying. You'll be surprised at the services provided to the homeless. Okay? And so when you you have to start discerning that situation a little bit better than we do, instead of having bleeding hearts, is all I'm saying about that. Because there are certain factors I think if a lot of people knew, they would kind of calm down on the rhetoric, actually. And that's the point I'm making as well, as why I'm talking right now. My podcast will be, starting up. Let me just say, I'll give it 2 to 3 weeks. A month. Let's just say a month. In a month, I should be up and running and going. I'm going to start promoting it at some point as well. My spiritual brother is going to help me set that up. Because, like I said, millions and billions of people are talking. Everybody has a podcast. And I don't have an issue with that per se. Because it's not necessarily coming from third parties. It's coming from the actual mouths of those that were involved in certain experiences or sharing their experiences. So it's coming from, it's coming from the horse's mouth, as they say. And so at some point, I'm just being very honest, and people need to accept this. A lot of news media outlets are going to have to find another line of work at some point. And a lot of these so-called third-party news media entertainment outlets are going to have to find another. In other words, everybody's going to have to be creative about how they are delivering information and news to people. Because, like they say, some people can do it for themselves. Okay? People are doing things for themselves. And everything is going to, like I said, be centered around the energy of your thoughts. And so a lot of people are going to be in certain circles of information, entertainment, whatever this sphere of information and how it's flowing. A lot of people are just going to be flowing around in those kind of spaces of information. And it's going to be up to the individual, however, to be responsible and accountable for what they hear, see, sense, receive, all the senses involving in that certain type of information that's coming forward towards you. And so it's going to be so easy at some point, if you are thinking for yourself and developing your consciousness, it's going to be easy to dismiss a lot of all that other. It's going to be background noise. Okay, so yeah, there's like millions and billions of people out there talking, but at some point, you are going to feel connected, or your energy is going to take you into a realm of information that's flowing, that serves you and gives you what you need. Whether it's entertainment, knowledge, information, blah, blah, blah. So that's all I'm doing. I'm just doing what I have to do what I have to do as well. I can't, claim I want to, isolate myself from this kind of stuff. No, it doesn't bother me too much. Because I know how to properly discern stuff. I can immediately pick up bullshit. I'm just being honest. I can immediately pick up when someone's attempting to indoctrinate people, manipulate people. And the main thing is the fear tactics. I can pick that up right away. And sadly, you'll be surprised where it's coming from and the mouths that it's coming from. But so be it, so it is. That's the signs of the time. We, like I said, as a planet, this planet is evolving and has always been evolving since the inception. Okay, and the same thing with human beings, but there's a stagnation, unfortunately, with the collective. Now, what does that mean? Well, when there's a stagnation with the collective, that will disturb the ship. Okay, that will disturb how things flow. Okay, when you look at things in a collective fashion, if people are not doing their share and helping to row the boat or rock the boat, whatever the case may be, eventually stuff is going to flip over, and then that's the end of it. I am going to provide whatever I can to help, assist, entertain, give information, whatever it takes. I, like everybody else, I have responsibilities and accountabilities, and I have to pay my bills. I have to feed myself. I have the necessary factors that are required to be a human being. How about that? And I know a lot of people are questioning each other about information that's put out. A lot of people are paying attention to what people are saying, and not necessarily discerning it properly, judging it properly, but also considering, okay, what kind of results does this person have? Is this person walking the talk? Or are they just talking and talking and talking? And a lot of, I would say 70% of the time it is just a lot of talking. And maybe 80%. Okay, all you have to do is look around at the results of our planet. All you got to do is look at the results of your life. Look at the results, just be brutally honest with yourself. You don't have to, like I said, you don't have to publicly, you don't have to tell everybody everything. But at the end of the day, when the lights go out, it's going to be you, okay, facing you. And you're going to have to answer to, okay, what was going on? In other words, you're going to be accountable for you. And there's no way to escape that in the best circumstances. You can't escape it. So you have to properly develop yourself, and it has to be reared in logic, being rational, reasonable. Does it make sense? Is it reproducible? Is this person reproducing anything that they're talking about, or anything that they're sharing with you, or any advice they're giving you? What happens usually when someone is successful with stuff, sometimes that success just happens to fall on their lap. They have no idea how they've gotten to where they are, have gotten to where they are in some cases, because a lot of people are on autopilot. Okay, and I know a lot of people say, "Oh, pay attention. The journey is just as important as the destination." And I said, no. I think you need to kind of revisit that. We have to revisit what we're saying, telling each other, and most important, what you tell yourself, secretly tell yourself. You can't fool your consciousness. Your consciousness is going to reveal it in one way or another, in one experience or another, about what you're saying to yourself secretly, and you don't think people are listening. Someone's always listening. And that's you, your consciousness, your subconsciousness, your psyche, whatever you want to call it. It's all a part of you that's paying attention to the words, your feelings, your actions, what you see, what you're doing with your eyes. That contradicts what's coming out of your mouth, what you're hearing versus what you're projecting, So, it's going to be a come to, a stark reality for a lot of people that they're not going to like. Okay, because you're going to look around, you're going to be listening around, you're going to be feeling around, and you're going to realize, the dangers, that are upon us in the form of our infrastructure, I see a lot of stuff on social media, snapshots of things, and that's how we see things anyway. All we see is snapshots of stuff because it's so hard for us to process a whole lot of. We think we're processing a lot, but there's no. We are processing snapshots of things, but is it providing any value? Well, time will tell. Because we swipe, 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 but we're still picking that up. A consciousness is still picking it up, picking it up, picking it up. Nothing escapes us. You can't. Nothing escapes any of us. We're all going to be called to the, as they say, called to the floor. Whatever they say. You're gonna have answers. You're gonna have to answer for your lack of or lack thereof, or whatever the case may be. But again, a lot of people are going around on social media, and I know people mean well, because I think a lot of people are I think most of the time people are projecting their experiences on everybody else. Okay, that's fine. But at the same time, each individual is responsible for how they interpret the experiences that they experience. I know a lot of us mean well. We put these groups up about eating well, thinking, a lot. I mean, everything is so obsessive, in my opinion, over health. The health is the most obsessive part of what I've been able to pay attention to as I kind of navigate through the social media platform. It's all about health, 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 and living longer, living longer, living longer, and eating better, eating better, eating better. But when you look at the big picture, and that's where that is going to really slap a lot of people in the face when they honestly allow themselves to look at the big picture of this planet and understand if this planet is sick, that means the animals are sick. That means the flowers, the plants, the trees, and ultimately that comes down to the food is sick too. Now, I know a lot of people do not want to hear that, and that's fine, because I know a lot of people like to promote a certain type of lifestyle. That's fine. Everything is self-will, so we shouldn't get too attached to anybody attacking a certain lifestyle of how we choose to eat, sleep, otherwise, because everything's free will. So why would you get upset if you, in your genuineness, and you're doing things for the right reason, want to promote a certain lifestyle? You go right ahead and do so. But if you get blowback, then what? Is it worth defending, or is it just worth keeping it moving? I say keep it moving. And if you like the results you're getting, then okay. But always make sure you know that everything is self-will. Free will, I'm sorry. Everything's free will. And so, like I said, a lot of people just don't know. And a lot of people are not being honest about certain things. And that's what we have to keep in mind as well. Or because somebody says, I lost 150 pounds doing this, and that, and the other. How do you know that? So, and the same thing with me. Look, I walk the talk and I get the results. So what, though? So what? Others can do the same. Others have done the same. So there's going to be a lot that I want to talk about. And like I said, I hope to answer some questions. I hope people present questions to me. I hope I can present questions to others. Like I said, I can properly discern people very, very well. I'm very good at what I do. And that's not bragging. That's just the results I get. Yeah, so everybody's getting up. I see walking around, getting ready to go to work, I guess. Like this woman next to me here. She's getting in there. I don't think she knows I'm sitting in here because it's hard to see in here. Because like I said, it is always movement over here. People moving all night long, all day long. And that's fine. I know how to meditate to be able to deal with that and not let it affect me. And that's why it's so important to understand meditation, no thought meditation, because you can find peace in chaos. You really can, and that's peace of mind that everybody, that's what everyone says they want. I do find it in meditation, peace in the midst of chaos. Because it's about the focus, it's about your concentration, and that's so important. But again, when I start my podcast, and even when I started talking here and uploading my videos to YouTube, I know that, I know that some people are listening. How about that? And I know that some people are curious about certain things. Okay. And I also know that people nobody's willing to reinvent the wheel. Nobody is willing to do that. Because nobody wants to be humiliated. Nobody wants to be embarrassed. Nobody wants to be called out, because you're going to be making a lot of mistakes. And nobody wants to do that. But if someone thinks, but we're good at taking, though. A lot of people love to take. And a lot of the content out there is all it is just refiltered content. And sometimes in the midst of it, you'll find some originality and some genuine creativity. But for the most part, a lot of people love to just steal content, steal people's ideas, steal. Because nobody, like I said, so they want to, if they see something that's proven and they get results, guess what? You're going to have invitations coming in from the yin yang. So that's why I said now. And so if you're not properly developed, you're not going to know that. You're not going to pick up the contradictions. You're not going to pick up the intentional look this way so that you don't look behind me and know this, or look this. You're going to just be thrown into a vortex. Thrown into a whirlpool of information where you're going to be even more confused. And I sense a lot of breakdown as far as consciousness is concerned. Meaning a lot of people are going to be broken because they're just trying to be in all space and sphere, trying to be in all conversations and all this and that. And as soon as someone, like I said, as soon as they see a winning formula, okay, guess what? They're going to pounce on it. And then all of a sudden you're going to see 10, 15, 20 other entities are doing the same, stealing content and building models out of that, claiming that the content belonged to them and this and that and the other. In other words, the pyramid needs to be fed. And so that's where stuff gets stolen, in the pyramid. And then it trickles down. So I know a lot of my stuff has been stolen. I can tell. Now, if it's for a greater good, then I have no issues with it. But like I said, everyone will have to answer for their own behavior, their actions and behavior. Everyone, all of us, including me. So when I say I'm helping, I'm helping. And then I'm being real honest. I need to make income just like everybody else. So if I can have my, if I need to be paid for my services, then I will be. Everything is going to work out as it needs to work out, and as it's supposed to work out. So I'm not so concerned right now. I know what I'm up against. I know what I'm up against, and I know what I'm doing too. I believe it or not, I know what I'm doing, and so I appreciate anybody listening. Um, and you may not understand my intentions, and that's fine. You don't have to. You may not agree with my um, opinions and theories. You don't have to. Some people may say, well, you know, when it comes to certain aspects of my life, like, when I talk about love, I know what love is. And so I know a lot of people that don't. And so if you don't know what it is, because there's a lot of things we don't know. That's the sad reality. So I think people mean well when they think, well, you're attempting to climb Mount Everett, or you're just attempting to climb a mountain that no one has done before. What makes you, so in other words, because it hasn't been done before doesn't mean it cannot be done. So a lot of our issues are our own issues of not expanding our consciousness, not elevating our consciousness and raising our vibration. We're still acting as though we were millions of years ago. And like I told you, for a lot of people, their time has ran out. Okay, now, for the most of those people whose time has run out, they have no idea their time has ran out. It's still business as usual for them. And that's not my responsibility to point out to them that their time is up. And in other words, that's it. Each human being has a limited amount of time in a certain space and time. And I told you it was always about time. I always felt that it was something about time. And for some people, a large portion of people, their time is up. Okay? But keep in mind, the consciousness will protect, your consciousness does protect you as well. So, a lot of people, like I said, will not even know that their time is up until they are you come face to face with the reality of that, and there's not a thing you're going to be able to do about it. And and everybody else that have highly sensory skills know that, but we know that we're not supposed to interfere at all. Interference will set me back, okay, and interference will swipe out all of my development as well if I interfere, okay, and it's because of interference from millions and billions of years ago is why we are here facing each other. And yeah, so enjoy the moments, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, enjoy the moment. Be gentle with yourself. It's not going to be pretty for some, but so be it, so it is. Okay, so anyway, let me go ahead and get out of this vehicle. It's getting a little warm up in here. It was feeling good for a moment, but now that the sun is coming out. I think there's a time change or something. I heard someone say, time change or something. I don't know. I need to figure that out as well. I hate having to do that so often as we do. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and go back inside. I got a lot of things I need to do as far as setting up furniture and getting the sound barriers set up properly, this and that and the other. So I appreciate anyone that's listening and paying attention to me and giving me the courtesy to speak as well and share as well, and attempts to help people, because that's my intention. I'm not going to be able to touch a whole lot of people, and I know that, but I'll touch I'll touch the right ones, and hopefully they can spread it to others and assist others in their development of their consciousness. Okay, evolution of the consciousness coming soon. Peace and love. And trust me, I'll be back.